What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and this morning we're going to be talking about what is easily one of the most, if not the most, impossible camo to unlock in Call of Duty history. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new coverage going up over on detonated.com, an expansion to all the coverage you're seeing here on the channel, just through the form of articles on the site, and plenty of tweets over on Detonated's Twitter. With that being said, I posted several previous videos breaking down everything you need to know about Season 5 Reloaded. There's been quite a few content drops with the mid-Season 5 updates, and plenty of secrets that you guys probably didn't know about. With that being said, I have even more coverage coming up over the next few days, covering things that you probably didn't know also released as of yesterday. But with that being said, an image did pop up from a bunch of DMZ fanatics showing what looks like a barter recipe for an exclusive camo inside of DMZ. Now, I'm going to point out something that might sound confusing, but you could apparently only barter this camo at one specific and secret buy station underneath Zaya Observatory. I'm not sure how there's screenshots out there of people seeing the barter option at random buy stations that are anywhere around Al Mazrah, such as one in Al Mazrah City. That might have been a bug because, from my understanding, you can only barter this camo in one specific location. So if you guys are seeing this barter option at other buy stations around the map, then you're in luck, and you're about to see why in a second. So you have to go to the secret scavengers buy station underneath Zaya Observatory. I'll show you exactly how to get there on screen so you guys can see. It's not that easy to find, but if you've played Shadow Seeds and you understand these secret chemical bunkers underneath Zaya, then you won't have too much of a hard time finding where this is. Now, I talked about the secret scavengers buy station in a separate DMZ video about a week and a half ago, where I discussed that now when the scavenger spawns in after real players have died on whatever map that it is, you can actually access a secret scavengers buy station that'll spawn before you kill him, because if you kill him it'll disappear. But if you have a disguise item, you can equip that and access his secret buy station, allowing you to barter certain items in exchange for dog tags. And I think that was a really cool update they added in, but now they've added in the secret scavengers buy station in a permanent location under Zaya that'll never disappear regardless of you killing the scavenger. There's only one catch though: you can only access it if the radiation zone hits the buy station itself. So that means you have to be in a match of Al Mazrah DMZ until the very end. And the thing is, if you have vehicles up top, maybe you can use those to quickly escape and get to a personal exfil or another exfil location if you guys do happen to wait until the zone starts hitting Zaya, and you can go ahead and get what you need from this buy station and then survive. But there's also a chance that you'll get what you need from the buy station, whether it's a permanent unlock or not, as we'll talk about in a second, and you end up dying soon after. But again, the Serpentine Camo, once you craft it, you have it forever. You don't have to exfil successfully to actually unlock it. But if you do happen to wait until the zone hits this buy station, you'll notice a very special recipe for an actual universal camo. This is the Serpentine Camo that you can barter by going ahead and exchanging Blackcell hand cream, Chemist acid, a skeleton key, and heavy chopper fuel. So we're going to go into exactly how to get each of those items in just a second, but do keep in mind that none of these items are mission items, meaning that when you exfil with these items, they will disappear. So you have to use a secure bag to actually hold on to these items to be able to take them from map to map to get what you need. Now, this really isn't a solo-friendly grind by any means, especially if you're trying to do this in a single day. This could take you several hours, and I'll get to exactly how many hours it took some individuals to actually get this done. We'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to finding a free secure backpack, it's possible, but it's rare. Lots of RNG involved there. I'm aware that there's these metal caches on Ashika Island that are sometimes along the water or by Suki Castle that sometimes have secure bags in them. I'm aware of that, but you can also barter for a secure bag by finding certain items. But here's the thing: the ability to barter a secure bag is also locked behind the quest. So in this video, we're kind of talking about quest within quest within quest. I'm not kidding. But if you happen to find a secure bag or you end up bartering one, then you're one step closer to eventually bartering this secret Serpentine Camo. So let's start with the Blackcell hand cream. As you can see from the secret scavengers buy station, the Blackcell hand cream requires you to go ahead and exchange one medic vest, one stealth vest, a comms vest, and one premium liquor. Oh, but also keep in mind, you can only barter the Blackcell hand cream at the secure buy station in Koshai Complex. It sits right next to the regular buy station, but can only be unlocked by providing the shopkeeper with specific items that are different in every single match. There's no way to permanently unlock the secure buy station in Koshai. Every time you spawn into the map, that buy station is locked until you actually give the shopkeeper specific items that can only be found on a note that's within the room with the buy station, and sometimes the note can also be found in other locations around the map, so it gives you a heads up of what you need to give him. But that's a quest in and of itself as well. If you're wondering how to get all three special vests, obviously you can find them randomly in the environment by killing other players. You can loot them randomly, but do keep in mind you can also barter for each one individually, or you can open up the secret safe inside of Koshai Complex using a diamond drill drill bit. I talked about that in a previous video, essentially having to go into the alpha cluster area of the map, opening a secret room by doing a small quest, and inside will be one of the parts for the Heated Madness weapon mod, but there will also be a diamond bit drill, which you could then take to the secret room that's by the sniper boss over in the factory admin area of Koshai, and once you're in that secret safe, it'll give you one of each type of special vest. So there's your 3 right there, just for clarification. But in terms of what premium liquor is, that's going to be something that you can only go ahead and barter only on Vandal. Now over on Vandal, it does say that premium liquor requires you to exchange 1 Bullfrog Blowtorch, 2 calling cards, 2 vintage wines, and 1 Bombmaker's blend. So a Bullfrog's Blowtorch isn't that hard to find at all. All you have to do is very simply kill the Bullfrog boss on Vandal DMZ, and through the explosion you'll see a blowtorch that drops beneath the wreckage. So there's that. 2 calling cards does mean that you have to wait for real people to die. Specifically, I'd recommend do this on Ashika. Wait for real people to die so the scavenger spawns in. If he goes ahead and comes across those players' bodies, he will replace their dog tags with what are called calling cards. You need 2 of those, but of course a secure bag to go ahead and store them in your inventory so you can move back to Vandal to go ahead and craft the premium liquor. You also need 2 vintage wines. Those are just randomly found in the environment. I believe you can also barter those somewhere. And then you need the Bombmaker's blend. If you're like, wait, what is the Bombmaker's blend? Well, that's only available on Ashika through a barter. The Bombmaker's blend requires you to exchange 1 Bombmaker's screwdriver, a GPU, and $200,000 in cash, as well as ancient gun oil. In order to get a Bombmaker's screwdriver, you have to simply kill the Bombmaker boss over in the Suki Castle. It'll drop right beneath the body. You also need a GPU, which you can either barter or find randomly in the environment. 200K in cash, self-explanatory. You know, do contracts, steal money from other players, maybe going on B21 to steal money from other players. That's probably easiest. Or you could just go ahead and grind the game normally, and 200K in cash will be no problem. Ancient gun oil, though, if you're like, wait, what is that now? There's also a quest for that. So ancient gun oil can only be bartered in Koshai Complex in a regular buy station. Not the secure buy station in Koshai, just the regular one. Ancient gun oil requires 1 diamond bit drill, which we just talked about a second ago. You get that from that secret room in Alpha Cluster. 3 AQ laptops, which can be randomly found in the environment, of course, 1 chlorine, which you can also find in the environment, and 1 Damascus dog tag. If you're like, wait, how do I get a Damascus dog tag? Is that not pure player RNG, waiting to come across a god tier player that's on a max exfil streak, happen to kill him, and then you take his dog tag? Well, you could do that. That's pretty difficult, and a lot of RNG involved there, but the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is for you to specifically go on a max exfil streak, have Damascus dog tags for yourself, die to an AI on purpose, and have your teammate take your dog tag from your bag, exfil with that, and then keep that in your inventory forever with a secure bag so that you can eventually use it for this barter. That's the way I would do it, at least. But again, you have to either go on an exfil streak yourself, which is probably easiest to do on some of the smaller DMZ maps, or happen to come across a Damascus dog tag in a player's inventory and take it from there. Now, I'm aware that was likely a lot of information to consume in terms of every single item you have to barter to get to the next part. So let's do a quick rundown of exactly what you need to barter and what order you should do all of this in. So first, you want to go ahead and craft the Bombmaker's blend, then going ahead and making premium liquor, followed by finally bartering for the Blackcell hand cream. And then that's 1 item of 4 you need to get the Serpentine Camo. So if anything, the new Blackcell hand cream is the actual problem here with this quest. It takes the longest to barter, if that makes sense. But now you want to find 1 Chemist acid. If you're like, wait, DK, what is that? That will drop immediately upon killing the Chemist boss in Al Mazrah. So that's really simple. Just kill the Chemist boss, go into the small radiation zone on the map that's always there, go in there with the gas mask, kill the AI to get other gas mask, and come across the Chemist, take him down, and he'll drop a Chemist acid every single time. Heavy chopper fuel, though, that you could find around random spots of Al Mazrah. I believe there's been some spawns at High Rise, specifically on the cargo train sometimes, and even near those hangars by Al Malik Airport. If you go ahead and go to some of those spots, you'll come across heavy chopper fuel, no problem. And once you have that, you're another step closer to finally bartering this camo. But then the skeleton key. I believe these are easiest to barter on Building 21. Again, a map that's only available from Fridays to Monday mornings. I believe if you trade in a couple of encrypted hard drives, you can get an easy skeleton key that way, but you can still barter a skeleton key on other DMZ maps for different items, as I'll show you guys on screen. And skeleton keys are really helpful anyway. I mean, being able to open any door on any map using one is great, especially if you're doing faction missions, but you have to barter one that you're specifically going to trade in here for the Serpentine Camo. So once you have all of that, you are now very, very close to being able to barter the Serpentine Camo, but there's also another catch here, and this is something that might actually worry you, so keep this in mind as you're doing the quest. You could possibly die to real players. So if you happen to get halfway through everything we just talked about, there's always the possibility you die to real people. So doing this on solo, I'm sure you're gonna have a heart attack. But if you are playing with other like-minded folks who are down to grind DMZ, then yeah, you have a better chance of facing off against potential sweaty squads on any one of these maps that might ruin your runs. I would almost take my time with this. I wouldn't even want to grind this in a single day. I'd want to be on my A game for every map that I spawn into, for every item that I have to barter. So if you could stretch this out by a day or two or longer, then feel free to do it, because it's gonna be a bit of a grind. I mean, it took Lego Squad about 4.5 hours to actually get all this done. Shout out to my buddy Lego, by the way. He might have been the first in the world to actually barter this camo in-game, but that's with them already being decked out with maxed out active duty operators and having quite a few of the items needed to go ahead and start this process. But again, imagine starting from scratch, not even having the ability to barter a secure backpack. That's going to take you some time. Again, none of the items you have to grab during any of these quests are mission items, meaning that you need a secure bag to transport them from map to map. They will not stick in your inventory like mission items do. It's also scary to think about how people could just camp at the scavenger's buy station underneath Zaya and can wait for you to go there at the end of a match and could just kill you, take the items that you took hours grinding for to then craft the camo for themselves. A lot of terrifying aspects and possibilities with this quest, and it's only going to be a very small percentage of people in the world that play DMZ that can go ahead and actually do this even after watching this video. But on top of that too, there's another catch with this entire Serpentine quest, and that is the fact that only one person who just did all of this, even if you're playing in a squad, only one person can unlock this camo. I don't know why it wasn't made to where if you barter that camo in a single match, it doesn't just give you that camo to every single person on your squad. That would be fair considering the amount of hours all the communication and collaboration was between you and your squad. But no, it's just like the gun screen in Koshai Complex, where if you have the items in your inventory and you barter for this item, you are the only person to receive it. So if you happen to do this with the squad, you're gonna have to decide who's getting the camo, and then after that, if you want to opt in to repeat this entire process from this video for those other players, that's what you're gonna have to do. Now, hopefully in a future title update, they change the way this works, either by nerfing the items that you need to craft this camo, or by allowing every player on your squad to unlock the camo. More people out there will probably be motivated to go ahead and try this. But here's what the camo looks like. Again, full credit to Lego Unlocked and his squad for these videos and pictures I'm putting on screen so you guys can see. He is linked down below. I'm sure he's coming out with a banger video of his own relatively soon about this entire process. The camo looks kind of like an oil spill. It looks interesting. I mean, as he was saying when he unlocked it, you could almost mistake this camo for one of those random ones you can get by just grinding a new DLC weapon, right? Because with every new DLC weapon, there's 4 new camos that release with that are exclusive to the weapon, but once you unlock those camos, you can then use them on all weapons in the game. And the icon for the camo itself, from looking at the buy station or from looking at it in the menu, kind of looks like it's something to do with obsidian. It almost seems like it would be an animated camo, but unfortunately it's not. It does blend well with other blueprints inside of the game, but if you're just running this on a base weapon, it's a camo that you'd probably argue isn't worth grinding 4+ hours for. But there's some hope here. Let me say this, because this has happened a couple times before. It is totally possible and in the realm of possibility that in a future title update, whether it's next season, whether it's sometime after, they end up updating the camo, making it animated or making it brighter or something. They've done it before with other event or mastery camos in this game already, where after a couple of months, they'll enhance the camo to make it more worth your while. Now, if you guys are wondering, well, is this harder than doing the Koshai Complex gun screen? Absolutely. I made a video about that gun screen a couple of months ago. I went ahead and unlocked that, but it took a lot of effort. Not nearly as much as this camo does, but what about Polyatomic, Orion, or other challenges we've seen? I'd say this is still at least a top 3 camo grind of all time. You might argue that Champions Quest in Warzone is a lot harder, and that's probably fair to say considering you need 5 wins, then you have to, in a 6th match, complete the Champions Quest contract. You can argue that's harder, but obviously people out there would run VPNs or get in bot lobbies and get that done pretty easily. This requires a lot, and I mean a lot of bartering, and if you're not a DMZ player that is interested in getting this camo, it'll be hard for you to kind of catch up and try to get to a point point where you're capable of bartering this camo by, again, leveling up the, I think it's White Lotus faction to be able and barter a secure bag. And then after that, being familiar with all the DMZ maps and how to barter certain items while taking care of difficult AI and the real possibility of running into real players that could also ruin your run at any time. So there's a lot going into this Serpentine Camo unlock. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on what might easily be one of the most impossible camos to unlock in Call of Duty history? What are your thoughts on the Serpentine Camo from DMZ and everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.